What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Your boy is back, and I haven't done a video on a serious topic or a video in this format in a while. But a couple nights ago, I got a chance to watch the Joker movie again with Joaquin Phoenix. Brilliant movie, by the way. 5 stars. You guys go check it out if you haven't already. And I also got a chance to check out the Aaron Hernandez documentary about his murder slash suicide. And that got the wheels turned in my head. We need to have a grown up conversation about mental illnesses and depression. Uh, Now, this is a very touchy topic to talk about because there's so many different layers, there's so many sides to it. But I'm gonna just go ahead and just start off with the obvious first. It's kind of like all right. The thing is, it's mental health issues and depression is not so much like drug addiction as so many as a lot of people would put it. Because the first thing that people tell you when it comes to drug addiction is the first step is admitting that you have a problem. And a lot of people who are going through depression and mental illnesses can't do that. They can't do it for two reasons. One, out of fear of being judged, and two, out of fear that they're going to be that their cry for help is going to fall on deaf ears. And while I was watching the Joker movie, and the Joker movie and the Aaron Hernandez documentary, they kind of go hand in hand because they both have to deal with mental health issues. But yeah. One line that stuck out to me in the Joker movie the most was when the Joker was writing in his notebook. He said, the worst thing about having a mental illness is people that expect you to behave as if you don't. And that's what I mean by, a lot of people's cry for help falls on deaf ears. Because God forbid somebody who's going through something, they don't get the help they need, they don't get the counseling or the medication they need, or they don't talk to anybody. Then next thing you know, we're reading about a suicide in the news, we're looking at the newspaper, reading about somebody killing themselves or harming a whole bunch of people, and then they're like, man, they should have asked that person, they were sick, they should have got the help they needed. And the thing is, they probably asked for help, but they probably got made fun of. And this is the primary reason why a lot of people don't open up about depression or their mental health, because this is especially true in the black community, is like when a kid says, "Mom, I'm depressed," or "Dad, I'm sad," or I think I need some help," and then God forbid somebody says, "Oh boy, it ain't nothing wrong with you. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You just want attention." That's the main reason why a lot of people don't want to open up about depression and mental health issues, because because a lot of people are going to feel like that person is crying for attention. And the thing is, to a certain extent, it is a cry for attention. It's a cry for attention that they need help. They need something done about it before it's too late. And a lot of people, they don't get the help they need, which is one reason why people with mental health issues and depression, that's the reason why a lot of them, they need vices. That's why they turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol, they turn to, anything that's going to get their mind off the pain, anything that's going to help them with, cope with their depression. And it's sad. I mean, everybody goes through something. Everybody has something that they're going through up here that they're not telling somebody about. And it really is sad. And see, here's the thing. Like this, goes back to the Aaron Hernandez documentary. Like, you never, because a lot of people say, well, you ain't depressed. What are you depressed about? It could be anything. You don't know what that person could be going through. They could be going through bullying. They could be going through some kind of change in their life. They could be going through abuse, from their parents. They could be, or they could be struggling with their own identity. Like, I even know some people who were lashing out at people because they didn't know how to express their sexuality. Like, there's some people who lash out at other people and who are just angry because they don't know how to come out of the closet. And that's just sad. But like I said, you never know what somebody's going through. So before you judge somebody, put yourself in their shoes. And that's also a quote from the Joker movie, is that nobody knows what it's like to be the other guy. Nobody knows what it's like to be in the shoes of a person who gets bullied, or a person who gets kicked while they're down. Nobody, really knows what they're. And the thing is, society, they really do need to have more compassion for people like that. Because I'll admit it. Bullying is something that I went through. Bullying is something that the majority of us, when we were growing up, went through. And see, for that reason, if somebody's, if I see somebody getting bullied, or see somebody getting picked on, or see, whether they're old, young, whether they're man, woman, or child, whether they're black or white, whether they're straight or gay, whether, they're a nerdy kid, or whatever the case may be, or whatever the reason they're getting picked on. If somebody's getting bullied and I see it, I'm going to say something, because that could very well stop a suicide, and that very well could stop them from, going off the deep end, bringing an AK to school and just shooting and killing everybody. And see, that's why a lot of people with mental illnesses, or going through some kind of depression, that's why they need help. They need a friend. And hell, Antonio Brown, God bless his soul. We all seen what the effect of CTE has done to football players over the past decade. Some don't make it past the age of 30, and Antonio Brown is 31, and a lot of people say, he's exhibiting some signs of CTE and mental health issues and depression. And like I said, a lot of these guys, they don't know how to cope. So the only way that they know how to cope is just by lashing out and just doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff that they, acting belligerent, things that they would normally never do in their right mind. And that's pretty much the saddest thing about it. And it is sad. The thing is, it's gotten a lot mental health issues and depression. Like, it's gotten more and more attention because of all these mass shootings and a lot of these people committing suicide, by overdosing on pills and do this. Because it's like pill popping culture is starting to become more and more thing. A lot of people do things like this because they can't cope with their reality, so they need to find another outlet. It's like, well, I can't talk to this person because they ignore me. I can't talk to this person because they're gonna make fun of me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pop these pills, drink this liquor, do these drugs, so that way I can cope with it a little bit better. And that's sad. That really is sad that people need vices to try to cope with their reality. It sucks. But the thing is, that's just the way the world is. The world really is not fair. But the thing is, people like us. I really can't say that I'm a normal person. Everybody's definition of normal is different. But we as a society, us people, like we can have a stronger hand in making sure that people get the help they need. Like, because the thing is, everybody fights depression to some kind of extent. Like, everybody is going through a stress. There's not one point in your life that you don't go through a stressful situation or you're not depressed. Mental health might be a little bit different, but still, mental health, depression could lead to serious mental health issues down the road. And the reason because of that is because of suppression. You're suppressing those negative thoughts. You're suppressing all that stuff. You're bottling it up. And thing is, it could come out wrong later on in life. And that's the last thing you want, is for you to lash out at somebody who cares about you. But on the flip side, and this is where the whole mental health and depression issue gets tricky, is if you watch the Aaron Hernandez documentary, he killed 3 people. If you watch the Joker movie, he had an acute degenerative brain disease to where he couldn't stop laughing. Now, I'm in no way, shape, or form defending people. I'm not going to defend acts of violence. I'm not going to defend suicide or homicide. I'm not defending mass shootings or any of that. Those people do need help, but committing crimes is no excuse for mental health issues, because there you have a lot of people who try to use their mental health as a cop out. Well, I did this. My impulses told me to do it. I needed some help, or I was off my meds and I couldn't control myself. That's the biggest thing why a lot of mental issue is looked down upon by some people, because those people are just crazy. And those people just, they just wanted an excuse to do something bad. And the thing is, to a certain extent, that's kind of true too. Some people do use their mental illness as a cop-out for them to do bad things. And that right there is sad. And the thing is, that, like I said, it's no excuse. It really is no excuse to harm a person. And also, one more thing. A lot of y'all know who Deontay Wilder is. He's a professional boxer. He actually joked about killing somebody in the ring, his opponent Dominic Brazil. And he said this in an interview, and I quote, he said, if you ask any doctor, ask any neurologist, ask any brain expert, they will tell you that the human head is not meant to be hit. And Aaron Hernandez, he had a brain scan after a suicide. He had an acute form of CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. That's a degenerative brain disease that wears down over time and causes you to act in a belligerent manner. You can act out in violence. You can have suicidal thoughts, and even do the worst. Like I said, do the worst, kill yourself. Same thing with Joker. And when the Joker was looking up his origin, his past, his mother was abusive. His mother was a drug addict, and his stepfather, the Joker's stepfather, beat on him, and they showed severe trauma to the head to him. So also, y'all got to look at that. A lot of people who suffer from a mental illness, or who suffer from depression, a lot of them have probably been beaten and abused as kids. A lot of them have probably suffered some kind of head trauma, and that's why depression and mental health it's just as much physical as it is a mental thing, and that's why people really do need to get the help they need. But anyway, I really could go on and on about this topic. There's so many layers and so many different ways that you can look at this. But I really didn't want to make this video over 10 minutes. But I just felt like that I just needed to express that to you about this to you guys. I wanted to bring. I mean, there's millions of videos and millions of books about it, and it's always on the news on TV. But I thought I'd just shed my little light on it about what I think about mental health issues, depression. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.